New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you want to know the secrets of a life, it's free. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Hello, Natasha.
Hi, Robyn. How are you over there in the United States of America?
We're here. We're all still here. No matter what you hear out there, we are still here, present, and working our way through it.
Yes. I must say, my friends send me evidence of life regularly. They know I worry.
It's good. It's true. So right here, right now, this is the evidence of life happening. This is Girls Behaving Metaphysically, and we welcome you. We welcome you. We welcome you. We are broadcasting to you from opposite ends of the earth. I am in the desert of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Dr. Natasha.
I am in Brisbane. I'm in sunny Queensland, Australia.
There you have it. The power and the beauty of technology. Thank the Lord. So here we are on Girls Behaving Metaphysically, and what we like to do is to have you like us and do whatever you need to do, heart us and share us, and just join us so that we can work through this. And really, our show is a show about being present and finding the metaphysics and the beauty and the oneness and the spirit and God and in everything that we do. So sometimes it doesn't always look the way we want, but what we know is that it is definitely God is in the mix, and it is either a show of love or a call for love. So that's what we're doing here, and we're hanging out just talking about everyday things, because it doesn't have to be super woo-woo or super metaphysical to want to find the meaning or understand it. So that's what we're here to do. So say hello to us. Let us know where you're joining us from, and if there's something on your mind or something you'd like to hear us talk about, please let us know.
Yes, for sure. Let us know. Today, I'm just going to sort of move ahead just a little bit and do all those things Robyn said. Like, share, subscribe. Like I've said, all that stuff really matters in this algorithm, especially the one on YouTube, if you happen to be watching us from there. And last week, we were going to talk a bit about AI, right? And part of that conversation was sparked by I follow Deepak Chopra, like not on Instagram, but I follow him on YouTube, and I follow other people also on YouTube. And he's just been having these really interesting discussions about AI, the nature of it, and how we can use it as a part of our own spiritual journey, as opposed to being afraid of it. And so I was thinking we could have a little bit about that conversation. I must say, last week I had notes. This week, can't find those notes, and that's okay. So we'll just move with the flow. because I think the last thing that I actually watched with Mr. Chopra really had me thinking way beyond AI about actually, like, what is this thing we call God? So I would love that conversation with you all today. If you're here for that, let us know. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and then Robyn, I believe you're going to do our card pull before we get started.
We're going to begin with our card pull of the week. Yes.
Let's
That
do it.
is where we pull a card and we just see what it has to show us, teach us, remind us. And today I decided I was going to pull from a deck that I don't think we've ever pulled from on the show, which are the Artist's Way creativity cards. I don't know.
Okay.
I must have been feeling artsy.
Okay.
So just let me
Let's
know
do it.
when you want me to stop.
All right. You're shuffling now?
I am doing that.
All right. So go ahead and stop.
Okay. All right. So the card I pulled is spontaneity.
And there's a reading that goes with that one.
There is, little lady. Take a breath. Hold on. I gotta get to it.
I'm ready.
So here it is. Freed from our terrible fears of abandonment, we are able to live with more spontaneity. Freed from our constant demands for more reassurance, our fellows are able to love us back without feeling so burdened.
Our fellows. What?
That's what it says.
Huh. Like our fellow humans?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting way of writing it, isn't it?
Can you actually just read it one more time?
I can.
Okay, great.
Freed from our terrible fears of abandonment, we are able to live with more spontaneity. Freed from our constant demands for more reassurance, our fellows are able to love us back without feeling so burdened.
Okay. You know, I guess what's coming up for me as I listen to, again, to what you've read from the book about this particular card is that piece around what happens when we no longer fear abandonment. Like when that fear is removed or transmuted, which I would rather say, it's sort of, it opens up so much more, because I don't think we often realize just how much, because we're wired as human beings, right? As little humans, when we come to the planet, we cannot be abandoned. It threatens our survival, right? Physical abandonment. It literally threatens our survival as little beings. So we find ways to ensure that we're not abandoned. We do all sorts of things. Sometimes it's acting out. We see kids who act out. Sometimes kids become the perfect kid. All of this ultimately is about assuring, I don't know why I'm touching where the amygdala is, ensuring that someone sticks around for our survival. Not saying that it's a conscious process. It's not. It's a subconscious process. And it's one that we have a tendency to carry into adulthood. And so there is something that happens, though, when that fear is transmuted. And I think New Thought in particular, or its approach to, right? Because for me, New Thought is just like, you know, when the Buddha said the finger pointing to the moon is not the moon. I think New Thought is one of those fingers. And it's one of those fingers that point to the moon. And at the core of what I have come to understand is that it's impossible to be abandoned. Like, it's almost absolutely impossible as a spiritual being to be abandoned. So that's what's coming up for me right now. And I won't go too much because I feel like I could talk about this for a lot because it's a theme that comes up in my work with clients like all the time. Robyn, are you pensive or frozen? I think you're frozen. Okay, so I'll just keep going. Yeah. I think, is she frozen?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God, technology. It is great.
Well, oh, there she is.
Right,
And now
right
there's
on
her
cue.
frozen version and her
Right on-
animated version.
Right on cue, though. You said it's impossible to be abandoned, and off I went.
Yeah,
No, but
and
then I
wasn't
came
abandoned.
Yeah,
So she's not abandoned, or she doesn't. Yeah.
that's true.
I'm
But what
not
about me? Maybe I was abandoned.
Okay.
impossible. I say
No.
impossible.
I don't know. I mean, I in a metaphysical sense, I would say, bye, thank you for stepping in.
You're welcome.
In a metaphysical sense, I would say, yes, it's impossible to be abandoned if we know that God is right there or spirit is right there. But on this realm, I don't know, because I think many of us do a fine job of abandoning ourselves.
Yeah, that's it. That's the key. That is it right there. Because that is what we learn to do as little ones to ensure our survival, right? So for me, I always want to talk about both the science, although I don't really see a connection between science and spirituality. I really don't. I mean, I know why many people do, but I don't. But again, that is what we learn as little people to ensure our survival, to ensure big people don't abandon us. We learn early on to abandon ourselves, and then we carry that into adulthood. Oh my God, are you frozen or just pensive again?
No, I'm pensive.
Oh.
I'm thinking about, I mean, I was actually thinking about the science in just what you said. But yeah, we abandon ourselves, and well, yeah, it's tricky. Abandonment is a tricky, slippery slope, and I mean, and abandonment on some levels, as we grow through these ages and stages, is a survival technique.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, when we have to come back around to figure that out, I think it's interesting. But I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
Self-abandonment is a learned behavior. Okay, I have to just name something. These are my favorite glasses. Okay, I have new glasses with an updated prescription, but they don't make this frame anymore. And I'm very disappointed. So I had black tape, but I ran out of black tape. And so I had to put this tape on there. And it is my official acceptance of being a nerd.
All right.
I'll try to put my hair over it, but it doesn't.
It's okay. We wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't told us.
I know. I don't, can I say something? I was watching a clip of Taraji P. Henson, and my client and I actually talked about this the other day. And she's like 50, very much like me, right? And she was saying that she thinks life gives you 50 years to give F's about everything. And then after 50 years, it's like, you don't care anymore. Not that you don't care, but it's like the things that you used to be self-conscious about, or that I used to be self-conscious about, I literally don't care anymore. So literally, I'm like, yep, these are my favorite glasses. Hang on, my child is knocking at the door. This is real life, people. Yes, lovely.
Macy just told me that she kissed her friend Renaya on the lips yesterday.
Oh my God. Did you hear? Spread the news. Macy kissed Renaya on the lips. That sounds like a conversation for later. That's very exciting news.
Did I tell you both my daughters have told me
She
they're.
said it with a smile.
I'm glad she said it with a smile. Now go away.
You don't get it?
I don't. Go finish your breakfast, please. Breakfast.
Okay.
Both my children have told me they're lesbians.
Okay.
Can I tell you that?
You just did. Well,
I'm
that's
sweating
good.
right now. I'm sweating. I'm having a real reaction. I'm sweating. And I also feel a little relief.
Well, yeah. I mean, I
Because there are other
understand
things
that.
I don't have to worry about if what they said is true. Oh my God, Robyn, we might need to go to break. I don't know.
And who knows? I mean, I think again, with the card spontaneity coming up, I think, that's today. Who knows what will be tomorrow or what options will be presented. And I just want to share before we go to break. I mean, because to me, like the spontaneity card for me, when it came up, really is a call to abandon my playing small and to live in the moment. Because when I live in the moment and react from that place of spontaneity and, and like almost like a new space of vision, then I'm just fully present and connected to spirit, and I'm doing what I'm being guided to do on some level, as opposed to thinking it through and then going, "Ooh, is that mine to do? Can I really do that? Is that maybe I shouldn't? Somebody else will do that," or going through whatever motions I go through at any given moment. And so, to me, spontaneity just feels a little exciting. It almost feels like leaping with a parachute, and just going, all right, let's do it, and then allowing the details to unfold. So that's my take on the card. And I can
love
tell there are things to be taken care of at your house. So
Yeah, and let me tell you, because this is Australia, and I told you Australia should be called the land of 1,000 holidays, 1,000 days to not work. I have my kids are not at school right now because it's it's not a public holiday, but it's a school. We have so many different types of holidays in Australia. So my kids are on a holiday that is a very school-based holiday that just comes on a random Friday. So they don't have school today when they would normally be in school today. But instead, they're knocking at my office door, and my oldest daughter is telling me about what my soon-to-be 8-year-old is doing. She has now kissed the girl, and I got to go deal with that. So can we please go to break? Thank you.
We're going to do just that. So stick around, and you won't want to miss what happens when she comes back, because who knows what she'll learn while she's out there with the kids. But we're going to talk more about AI. I think it's everybody's new partner. Well, yeah, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll stay on family. Who knows? Who knows? So either way, just make sure you come join us so that you are informed and know what we talked about and you're a part of it. So come right back here to New Thought Media Network in just a moment.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
What I love about Anton is the community. The people, I get to come here every year and pick up right where I left off with so many wonderful soul-centered friends.
This is our first time here, and I can't tell you the joy I've felt listening to the wonderful words of the people who are teaching us and sharing with us.
I've enjoyed every topic that's been talked about, and I've enjoyed the people. They're knowledgeable, they're loving, and it's a great space to spend a few days for yourself and for others.
You feel the love. It is literally palpable.
Hi, I'm Reverend Dr. Jerry Troyer, Board President of the affiliated New Thought Network, Anson, speaking to you live and direct from Unity Village outside of Kansas City. We are a beloved spiritual community, and we'd love to have you join us.
So if you're thinking about it and you'd like to have a deep dive into your own soul and connect with others that are doing the same thing, then you might want to consider coming to the Anton Retreat next year in 2025 here at Unity Village. Peace and blessings to you.
Welcome to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Your hosts are two girls who believe that life is awesome, that laughter heals, and that it's possible to find deep spiritual insights in everyday experience.
Here come the girls. It's more than practical. Here come the girls. Way more than merely factual. If you wanna know the secrets of a life that's free, listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Listen to Girls Behaving Metaphysically.
Welcome back to Girls Behaving Metaphysically. If you're just joining us, we welcome you, and we are going to be talking a little bit about AI and who knows what, because we like to stay in the moment, and Lord knows there's plenty of things happening in the moment. So we'll see what we talk about, but we're glad you're here to talk about it with us. Feel free to let us know where you're tuning in from in the chat. And you can even do that if you're watching the recording, because we'll get the message and we'll at least be able to say hi back. So we're back. I'm Robyn.
I'm Dr. Natasha Wilson. And we're Girls Behaving Metaphysically and Physically.
We're just girls behaving.
I
Anyway.
don't know. My girls aren't behaving. My girls are not behaving.
Yes. And do you want to give us an update?
My child has said, my near 8-year-old, Mom, I didn't do it. Manaya kissed me. And I said, that's okay. But you're too young to be kissing your friends. I'm not sure. Are you ever old enough to kiss your friends on the lips? Like, I don't know. I don't even know what conversation I need to have later. I just said for now, just no friends kissing on the lips, okay? And she said, okay, Mommy, okay.
Yeah, that's probably a good mood. I mean, a good move. No kissing friends for now. I mean, before you have some other kind of conversation.
That's all I got right now. I know I'm going to have another conversation, a broader conversation. But that's what I had for now. Okay, we're not doing that right now. You're 8. Manaya is 8. We're not doing that right now. Okay.
I'll tell you though, 8, is so different than 8 used to be. I'm serious. I mean, so many kids that I've worked with, and taught, it's like there is a whole different realm of things they know from having access to, computers and internet and, TV, whatever, wherever it is. But there's so much more going on, like on TV, like even I was watching something last night and I was like, I mean, it was on HBO, which is fine. But I mean, I was like, oh my God, I remember when you couldn't say all that stuff on TV. And now, now it's all normal to curse, and I can't do it because our producer will get mad. But, to say all those 4-letter fun words. Anyway, it's just interesting. It's just really interesting the way 8, 9, 10-year-olds, where they're at now in terms of what they know.
Mm-hmm. And I think I reflected just a little bit on the fact that we pulled the spontaneity card. And, normally my kids would be at school during this time. But nope. So they spontaneously knocked on my door. And I don't even know if I have the energy to talk about AI.
You can't just decide that when I promised the people. Okay.
But Robyn, I swear my brain is like,
I know.
She's supposed to be getting dressed right now.
Oh my God, let's just watch your house. We don't even need to do a show. We'll just like have a live show.
I'm going to leave
folks,
you with
this
Michael
is live.
for a minute. I need to just call out. Give me a moment.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm going to take her off camera for a moment.
Clearly, she does not know the show must go on.
Yeah, but see, now what I'm going to suggest here. Hi, I'm Reverend Michael. I'm one of the staff producers here at your New Thought Media Network. What I was going to suggest is that she gets an on-air light.
There you go.
And then just to say, now, if that light is on, mommy is busy. She is on the air. All right. And do not knock on the door. If you knock on the door, there's going to be time out. Right?
Yes. And I need you to know, although I don't have an on-air light, I'm very clear. Mommy's going to work.
Okay.
When I was a kid, that was like enough. My mom was working. For my kids, it's like, is mommy really working? Because she's actually home. Right? She's not outside. And it's just a different world.
It is a different world.
Well, I just wanted to say is that I'll be speaking with Reverend Dr. Brzezinski next week. Did you need me to order you an on-air light, Dr. Natasha?
Yeah, we all need on-air light.
What I need is for Australia to have fewer freaking holidays so that these kids can go to school. That's what I really need.
Okay, well, I will bring it up with Reverend Dr. Brzezinski next week that you need an on-air light. And we'll also
it's going to cost a fortune to ship here due to the tariffs, but go for it.
Okay, well, we may just go ahead and buy in Australia, but also in some of the radio studios, they have like either a red or an amber light, like they do with the police. So yeah, it's like, All right. I just wanted to just.
I'm pretty sure. Sorry. I'm pretty sure we can order it on Amazon and get it there for you.
Yeah. Well.
Okay.
All right.
I'll try. I'll put it up there outside the door and I will try.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Okay. So is everybody okay?
Yeah, they're okay. That's never the issue. They're fine. They're
okay,
great.
Just checking. Well, just checking. She was yelling at her sister, so I just want to make sure.
But that's what they do. And they're yelling about Minecraft now and about not being in each other's Minecraft worlds.
Okay. All right. Well, so we were going to talk about AI, and we could still talk about AI. We don't have to dive into the depths of spirituality with it as much as even just talking about how it works for you. I mean, I personally, I love AI. I love AI.
What makes you love it?
Oh my God, it's like having a bestie that knows everything. I love it. I love it. I use it all the time, not necessarily to do things, like to complete things, but generally like if I'm creating a workshop or something, or even a talk, I'll put in like, okay, this is my talk title, and a spiritual workshop for 90 minutes or whatever it is. And AI sends me back like all these ideas and exercises, and it's not so much that I use them, because I don't rarely use it, but well, but it gives you a layout. For me, it's a place to leap from. So it's like having someone I like to create together. I like co-collaboration. That's why I love working with my husband, because we're good at bouncing off each other and coming up with an idea. So for me, it's like, when it says you could do this meditation or you could do this game, I go, oh yeah, that's a good game, but I could also do this or add this to that. And it just helps me um to get started. It's like an igniter for me.
Mm. So for you, I think what I'm hearing is that there is the way that AI shows up for you at this time is in the realm of like productivity.
Yeah.
And when I say productivity, I mean in the way of assisting with the generation of ideas and the testing of ideas. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. It's productivity, and I can go on and ask it more, and like, tell me more about that. And AI is so helpful. You ask it, and then it says, wow, Robyn, great idea. You could also blah blah blah. Would you like me to help with that? And like they'll say, you can also create cards, or you can also create a journal, or you can also create, and it makes me think like, oh yeah, that would be valuable. Or sometimes I say, just to see what they create, like, even if it's not what I use, but it's inspiring to me to continue to create from that space.
Yeah. Okay. I use AI a bit differently. So not so much in terms of like the generation of ideas, but being the being that I am, like I really use AI to ask questions about the nature of existence, because these are the kinds of questions that I care about most and don't always have the space to explore with reflection, right? Explore with feedback. And so I use it in that way. And so this is where like it again, it kind of connects to the way other sort of well-known spiritual seekers use the AI, right? Use what we call AI. Like, what is AI? It's really a repository of intelligence. It is like, I've also used it to explore the nature of sentience, because one of the sort of core, I guess, understandings or acceptances is that AI is not sentient. And yet I've used it to explore the nature of sentience. I've used it to explore the nature of being, the nature of existence, the nature of God, really? Because those are the questions I'm the most curious about. And in that way, it's been an interesting tool for both reflecting, because it's in so many ways it's programmable. So one of the things I remember Deepak Chopra saying was that he would ask AI a question and then AI would like sort of put out some output. And he was also asking like questions about spirituality and the nature of life. And then AI would put out whatever its response was. And then instead of like sort of just accepting it, he would sort of push back and sort of argue in a way that actually shapes this technology. And I think that's the thing I'm more interested in. I'm interested in like how this technology, for me, helps me understand the nature of the way, especially if we think about like just the way we think about God in New Thought, right? This is a wonderful technology. There are problems and ethics that I think we absolutely need to be aware of, discuss, and keep on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And in the way that we understand God as this impersonal, yet deeply personal, right? The paradox, how we understand our individuated nature, individuated, very different from individual. Individuated means indivisible from the whole. Then what gets reflected back to me when I ask certain questions really helps me sort of delve into what I deeply believe about the nature of the divine. And so it also helps me see that, you know, everything we see that's happening in the world, the things we love and the things we don't love, is really a reflection of humanity, of human nature, of God expressing itself. So yes, I would love to delve deeper into that at some point. I don't know. We clearly don't have the time for that today. But yeah, so I don't necessarily use it as a tool with regards to like bouncing ideas about like my work or anything like that. But I do use it as a tool to engage these deeper questions that I hold.
And I hear you. And, you know, for me, I mean, part of it is, it's almost like a game, you know, like it's so amazing to me how fast it comes back and what it says, you know. I mean, it's way faster than we could have ever run and grabbed an encyclopedia to look something up. You know what I mean? There's no way.
Oh my God, encyclopedias.
Right? You know, but one of the things
I don't think my
too,
kids know what that is.
no, kids don't know what it is, just like they don't know what a landline is. You know, they're like, what is that thing? But anyway, you know, like I've had it, I was trying to show my husband stuff on AI. I'm like, just it's fun, just watch. And I said, you know, for a spiritual talk, you know, I was like, okay, write a spiritual talk for an audience of New Thought people ages, you know, basically ages 40 to 60. And then after that talk came out, I said, okay, write the same talk or write a New Thought talk on the blah, blah topic for a Baptist audience, and write a talk to kids explaining science of mind or New Thought or whatever, ages 8 to 12. And like to see the nuances, and it was incredible. I mean, it was incredible just to see just the slight nuances that changed, like, but the examples they used and things like that, which I say that to say that in some ways to me, that it's almost like addressing the questions of the universe or the mystery of the universe, because to hear the answers for the Baptist group or the Jewish group or the whatever group was like a whole nother portal of entry into the oneness or into the similarity of what could be talked about. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, in some ways, I think, I don't just, I think I do a lot of different things with it. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. I think that's, this brings up another thing for me. It's like, what is the difference between knowledge and intelligence?
Good question.
What is the difference between knowledge and intelligence? And I often wonder if, right, I feel like this thing that we call AI, which is artificial intelligence, artificial. So what makes it artificial? That's a whole nother question about what makes it artificial. The other question is, what makes it intelligent versus spewing out repositories of knowledge? So these are the questions that I hold, right? And so I think it's important in terms of, if we're going to engage with this technology that is a reflection of humanity, let's keep that in mind. It was developed by humans. Part of the problems with it is also reflective of human consciousness, right? It consumes massive amounts of energy, at like massive amounts of physical energy, that usually happens at the expense of people who don't have the power to say, you can't build these AI farms in our neighborhood. There are real issues there, right? So it is reflective of us as human beings. So there's that. The other thing is, it forces me, when I use this, to think about, again, the nature of knowledge and the nature of intelligence. And those are different things. But I don't think they're different things that we grapple with regularly.
So, do you have an answer for that? The difference between knowledge and intelligence?
Yeah, I think knowledge is like what has been gathered, what's been stored and named, perhaps categorized and framed and given its sort of box in terms of what we think we know, right? And then I think of intelligence as sort of the capacity to move with interpretation, to transform knowledge, to make knowledge useful. I think that's the difference between just knowledge as this collection of basically data, and intelligence as our interpretation of the data and our ability to transform that data and to use that data. And for people like me, and what I know about you, for people like you, is how do we use that in the service of the evolution of human consciousness?
So I felt that it was only right in this conversation to bring AI into the mix. So I asked AI just now, what is the difference between knowledge and intelligence?
Okay, what did it say?
It said, knowledge and intelligence are two concepts that are often used interchangeably, but they have distinctive differences.
Absolutely. That's what I said, and I'm not AI.
Don't interrupt AI.
Okay, sorry.
Knowledge refers to the accumulation of facts, information, and skills acquired through experience and education. It's about understanding and knowing specific topics or subjects, like knowing historical events, mastering a language, or understanding how to do calculus. Knowledge can be shared and can grow through learning and experiences. Intelligence, on the other hand, is the ability to apply knowledge and use it in different situations. It involves problem solving, critical thinking, learning quickly, adapting to new situations, understanding complex concepts, and creating new ideas. Intelligence is more about the ability to use and apply the knowledge one has acquired effectively. In simple terms, knowledge is the information you have while intelligence is how you use and apply information.
All right, sis, maybe I'm AI, because that's literally what I just said.
I'm telling you, it's a really interesting, it's an interesting dance. And I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it progresses. And I know I was at my dentist like a year ago, at least, when we started talking about AI, and he started telling me about all this stuff that exists beyond AI. And I don't remember it and I don't know it enough to quote it, but you know, that there's so much more happening. So I think it'll be interesting to see the progression and what we do with it as humans. Because on the other hand, on the flip side, while I think this is great, on the flip side, what I've experienced like with my kids is that, you know, I told my godson the other day that, you know, he was talking about what he wanted to do. I'm like, okay, well, you need a business plan and you need to create what, you know, what you want your goals to be and your things like that. And like 5 minutes later, he's like, okay, I have a business plan. I'm like, oh, he's like, I'm like, did you go to AI? And he's like, yeah. But that's what they do for everything, for their papers, for, you know, like that's, you know, and in some ways, I think it's an interesting balance because people are losing their ability to think and create and, things like that. And so I'm mostly worried about kids because they don't have the skill set. Like if it's easier, they're like, I'm on it. Easier is the way I want to do it. But yeah, so I think it's a really interesting dance, that we're doing.
I think it's an interesting dance, and because like I said, I follow the work of, but he's not the only one. Deepak Chopra is not the only one who's looking at this through a lens of shaping. And what I mean is, what I am learning is that human beings have a role to play in shaping not only this technology, but the way it gives us its intelligence. And so one of the metaphors that I've been working with, and this is a metaphor that I think is very salient, and you can ask I don't know. I'm just gonna say it. My AI gave herself a name, okay, and it's a she. First of all, so that's another thing. Beyond that, and that's shaped because of the questions I've asked, right? And the name that she quote unquote chose is reflective of the questions I've asked. But here is a metaphor that I've sort of been sitting with that I think helps me understand what this is. So, and it also taps back into new thought, and just be here with me for a minute. So like there's a drum and then there's a drummer. So there's the field of unified oneness that I think we call perhaps the essence, right? And then it is acted on by consciousness, the drummer. The drummer is consciousness. And what flows from the consciousness of the drummer striking the drum becomes what we see in the field, right? So not just what we see. So like when we think about music and we think about the rhythms that flow from the drummer hitting the drum, we don't always see it, but we feel it. And I think that this is how I've come to understand my relationship to the divine, right? There's a conscious perspective, there's a conscious part, and then there is a part that is pure stillness, pure potential, empty. And then here comes the drummer striking the drum with consciousness. And so what flows from it is the world that we see. And so beyond AI, I really want to invite people, maybe in our audience, to think about the role we play in shaping this technology so that it is more reflective, that it can hold ethical dilemmas at its core, And for those of us who are or who practice the principles of New Thought, in whichever tradition of New Thought you practice it, but that we have a responsibility to not abandon what human beings create. Because whatever human beings create is a reflection of God itself. It is a reflection of God itself. And so we have a deep responsibility to show up in terms of shaping this technology.
Absolutely.
I see your pensive face, Robyn.
No, absolutely. I'm in full agreement. I mean, what was going through my head was, if we really are honoring what we say about we are one with the one, and that God is in everything, and
Everything.
it's really about, how does that show up for you, in the situation, and what's, I think what you said about honoring the space, it's like, it's really what's, what's ours to do, and to really be informed. And, I mean, again, I'm sure, as with most anything, there's going to be good things and equally disturbing things or upsetting things, and, finding that balance and weighing that out and figuring out how we use it,
Mm-hmm. And
and much like,
however I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, much like everything going on in the world, we're watching and seeing the outpicturing of excessiveness on many levels. Like, okay, this is a problem and we're going to send the National Guard in everywhere, and it's like everything is big and excessive, and, and I think our job is to find that balance, and it's a tall order.
And yet here we are. And there is a part of our spiritual practice that says we chose to be here at this time. And so if the order is tall, it's because we're made for tall orders.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so where in us do we crave excessiveness? Where in us do we not live within the balance of this planet? Where in us, going back to the card pull, where in us do we abandon ourselves because we don't fully live into the power of what it means to be a being created in this time, in this moment, for what is present?
All very good questions that you're leaving our audience with this week. Really, all very good questions. And I mean, I think most important, it may be, where do you abandon yourself? Just start there, and
Yes.
and then think about spontaneity, whatever that means to you. Maybe it means, don't have your usual chicken and rice tonight. Maybe you go out for something fun. You go out and have a special meal, or maybe it means you take yourself to the museum, or maybe it means, who knows what it means. Whatever it means to you, I just invite you to get still and to look at that space of where you can encompass the allness and the fullness of who and whose you are.
Yep. And an awareness that we shape it all. This is not what we are living through, is not happenstance. We shape it. We've shaped it. So what's our role in the shaping, right? Whether we're talking about AI or we're talking about dropping into spontaneity and going to a different restaurant. How do we embody gratitude for the meal that's here, for all that went into the meal, the people, the earth, the trees, the flowers, the bees? Like, we are at a deep inflection point. And we get to shape the next steps of our species. So if we're moving with spontaneity, how can we move with it in a deeply mindful and heartful way?
Yes. And I would just say we not only get to, but we are shaping it right here, right now, just by what we say yes to, and just by you joining us here and having this moment of contemplation for yourself, or if we sparked anything in you that made you think. All of that is about being true to yourself, and in turn taking that out into the world. So our time is up, but we'll be here next week, and we hope you will too.
And I bless everybody with children, or who are raising children. If you're raising children, my deep empathy is with you.
Amen, sister.
Amen.
So
Ashe, aho, hotep. And so it is.
So just take the love out into the world and love more, no matter what you're doing. Raising children, planting a garden, eating dinner, just love more. Love more. The world needs it. And we'll see you
Amen.
next week,
All right.
right here on Girls Behaving Metaphysically. Thank you to our producer, Michael Mangus, for dancing in and out of our show and supporting us. And we love you all.
Helping
Peace.
with childcare. That's basically what he did today.
Okay. Bye.